Dear one, to be with someone that's kind and well-meaning is the greatest treasure imaginable. But someone who is just loving and kind, peaceful, wants to help, wants to be a joy, hopes and thinks the best of you, is pleased that you are there, loves your company. This is treasure that's just everything. Turns meager possessions into paradise. But to live in a world where people don't really talk to you, don't enjoy meeting you, don't want to share, leave you isolated, are not there to help when you need their help, well, it's a poverty that's unbearable. We travel in cars and increasingly alone or isolated from the others that are traveling, whereas one used to walk and mingle down the street. We travel great distances and are a stranger, a risk and an unknown to people. So we are met with defensive action, isolation. We spend our time relating to our devices, computers and phones. It used to be television and staring at a cinema screen. It cuts us off from actual relationship with others. We live in cities of so many people that most of the people we scarcely even pass each day are strangers. Who do not know us and do not relate, and are defensive if we do try to relate, because we are an unknown. We have a world in which the culture is so mixed that we're not sure what responses we will get from others. It's less predictable, and we are easily misunderstood. Our behavior is majorly determined by a work situation instead of a relational leisure situational. So I relate to you, for instance, if you come into my shop. I relate to you as a salesperson to a customer, instead of at the bus stop where I might sit and talk to you as one local person to another. the work relationship that dominates, formalizes and, if you like, makes inhuman relationship of structure and organization, as opposed to creative, caring individuality. We are allocating our resources and our creativity to being part of a commercial trading relationship machine instead of a creative, living, loving, familial, society. We've dehumanized, in other words, something that was potentially lovely and are left isolated. As functional parts of a commercial system. We are the victims of trade instead of living continually in loving kindness. I'm come that you might have life and have it more abundantly. Family, loving family, fellowship, not industrial organization. In other words, full personhood, not functionality in a dominant system. We have substituted structure, law and order for loving kindness. We have substituted control by fear and penalty instead of creative initiative to be a blessing to each other. As a consequence, we are lonely and increasingly lifeless. We have dehumanized our race. This is the great tragedy. We seek more and more materialism to address our lack of love and kindness. And we fall deeper and deeper into the dehumanized abyss. You can have a city of AI transport and isolation and high-rise. Or you can have a village of loving relationships. Choose you this day whom you will serve. Thank you, Heavenly Dad. Well, yes, industrial state is no substitute for loving family. When it starts to control the family instead of protecting and providing, when it becomes a nightmare, because we don't have a control structure that is personal, that gives the opportunity of loving initiative, but rather analytical structure. It's very good for ordering material objects, but not for giving life to humanity. For humanity, there is an ideal family. There's no ideal state for humanity. Structure is constraint, boundary, and control. Humanity is of life, creativity, living, constant change. The two are, is it antithetical? They're opposed to each other. The result is an unhappy stress, crime, depression, suicide, loneliness, unhappiness. Don't seek the ideal structure. Seek the ideal values, values that are of life, kindness, care, creativity, peace, security, and hope. Relational prosperity, relational reliance, not myopic materialism and isolated individuality. That is not life. Life is communion, fellowship, relationship. Quite simply, no man is an island unto himself, and our societies make him as such. Oh my God, what's happened to us? Rescue us from our dilemma, Heavenly Dad. Come unto me, all who are laden. Is it labour and heavy laden? And I will give you rest. You're not taught to love the state. You can't love something that's not human. You're taught to obey it, fit in with its structure, or be left aside. That is not life and creativity and loving relationship. And families have become enslaved, in fact, disaggregated by the demands of the state. The state, quite simply, is obsessed with order, not loving kindness. We need cultural values that are human. And such order as we have, one that protects such values, not destroys them. Thank you, Heavenly Dad. You could say, ideally, our religions do this. But our religions are not ideal. In fact, you could say they are used as instruments of the state to further its control. Rather than to ensure that the state promotes values that are what we need. Simply that. So yes, our religions have failed us, but our science and technology fails us too. We have to look elsewhere for inspiration. In our imaginations, in fact, yes. I imagine a better God, not a materialism, but a familial, loving, kind God that values all life. Peace, joy and hope, creativity, loving kindness, compassion, simply that. Thank you, Heavenly Dad.